Alright guys, welcome back to God's Country Shooting and Outdoors. I am your host, Chad Morrison again. Alright, so the 450 was great to play with. As a matter of fact, one of the guys at work, please comment if you think this would be a fair fight, is wanting me to shoot his Christensen Mesa 450 Bushmaster and kind of decide on which one I think might be better gun. Absolutely, sure, I'd love to. Sounds like a great plan to me. I still got a little bit of ammo left over from the Gen 2 Ruger American. I love the gun. Can't wait to get my own. I don't know what caliber yet that I'm going to get one in, and I haven't had the luck yet to be able to get a hold of one. They keep slipping through my fingers, but at least I got friends in, well, gun stores. So I want to go real quick over these. The bullets that I shot all shot pretty good. Shot better than what I did at the time. I really struggled with the eye relief on that gun, but that's beside the point. That's my bad. But I did love the gun. The gun shoots great for him. I have no doubt that if I tuned it to me, it would shoot great as well. So first up that we shot was the Hornady Custom Load, which is supposed to be very, very close to the blacks. Um, so this was the bullet, and you can see the little tip in the end of it. That was a 250 grain bullet. So here's the information on it. The caught weight was 184.9 grains. So it had a weight retention of 73.9%. So let's call it 74% weight retention. That's pretty good. Now, the depth of penetration after, and when I talk about the depth of penetration for the rest of this video, I'm not talking about just the 3/8, the two jugs and 3/8 again, so 3/4 of wood, and then roughly 11.5 inches of jugs, and then the lid, which is plastic reinforced. The lids will not stand the bullet going through them unless it's really warm, and even sometimes not. So I have to reinforce those lids a little bit. So I mean, they're getting a pretty fair shake on what they're going through. So from here on, when I say depth of penetration, this is from the lid where I'm catching the bullets in the water. So I was cold and I was trying to hurry, and the wind was rough. Um, when I started editing the video, actually when I started putting everything up, it dawned on me that the very first shot I seen that it hit, but it didn't dawn on me how bad that it did hit. But in the crate that I've got 1 by 1 3/4. Well, 2 by 1 3/4 inches. Braces on the tops and bottom to help keep everything squared up and together. And the first bullet shot lower than I expected. So when it did, it actually took about that much, about a half inch of that back board out of the bottom. And I did catch the bullet, so I did. I will show you those bullets. They'll probably be either up there or right in here somewhere. I haven't edited those in yet, so, but you'll see the bullets in a minute. So when I say 11.5 inches depth of penetration into that rig of water, that bullet would have gone farther. I cannot say how much farther it would have went. Um, Based on what a couple of these other bullets went that are in the same velocity. All of these bullets were really close, and I'll give you the velocities on them. The Hornady Customs were 2,200 feet per second is what they're showing on the box. I don't have a chronograph yet. Lord willing, I will get one. And I've had some comments on my trigger pull, uh, actually right there on this little scale here. Maybe I need to get a new one, so hopefully, Lord willing, I'll get one of those soon too. I am looking more at digital. It's about $60, but I'm on a budget. It's things like this, or it's things that go pow. Anyways, so I do feel like this Hornady Custom would have went, and if it's as close as what a lot of guys were saying, the Hornady Blacks, probably in the 24-inch depth of penetration into the water. That's a pretty good pass through. I thought the bullet did really well. It it looked great. It mushroomed great. It held together really good. The weight retention, I was pretty impressed with. So I really did like the Hornady custom load. Now, as far as these 4 bullets that I shot, this one was probably the least impressive. You'll see in the picture, it did not actually go through the bucket lid. As a matter of fact, it barely made it through some of the wood on the back side, and that is the Hornady whitetail. Now it's showing 2,200 feet per second as well. Of course, it does have the lead tip. I suppose it is a cup and core bullet. That's what it looks like. I didn't read that it was bonded, but it may be a bonded bullet. But I'm thinking it's probably a cup and core. It did really good. The explosion was great. It dumped all of its energy into the jugs. The explosion broke ribs, or in our scenario, wood on the back side. It done a lot of damage, but it did not have a lot of pass through. And the actual weight retention on it, 32.7%. I didn't find that very impressive, but would it kill deer? Absolutely. I'm sure a lot of deer got taken with that bullet this year, but it really, I mean, absolutely it'll work. And if the price is right and you're looking at hunting, just whitetails, that's great. That's really great. And two, there's a real high probability you may have pass throughs with it, because you may get her up between 2 ribs. You may duck a bullet right behind the shoulder. I like kind of right at the edge of the shoulder myself, but there's times where I take a full dead on shoulder shot, but I like to tuck it right behind the shoulder if I can. If you're doing that, you're definitely going to get a good pass through with these bullets, I feel like. But I've been wrong several times before. Alright, the next one was probably one of my favorites, but it did not have the absolute best. But I have nicknamed it Superman's Kryptonite. This is the Remington, and the light don't do it justice. But when I look at that, it reminds me of Kryptonite. Yes, I do like some sci-fi, especially Superman. That bullet was really impressive. Yeah, it's saying that it's 20 feet per second less than the Federal or the Hornady whitetails or the Hornady custom loads, showing that it's about 2180 on feet per second. Most of these were 2200, except for the last one, and it was like 2250. I'll look at it in a minute. The weight retention on this bullet was 80.3%. So I thought that was really well. The bullet was 260 grain bullet. The caught weight was 208.9, so 209 ounces, or grains, should I say. 80.3% weight retention, and the depth of penetration was just about smack dab dead on 36 inches. Now, when I set it up, I try my best to set that jig up to where it's as level with when I shoot straight through. I need it to be, in order to get it into that diameter bucket lid. Um, this one I cheated a little bit. I was hurry. It was cold. I fired these from about 15 yards. Was about the distance from where I shot to where I caught them was about 15 yards. When I'm over on my buddy's farm, it's usually 25 yards is what I shoot those at. Um, I really like these bullets. Uh, I can definitely see if I could find more. I would definitely buy them for this gun. Very, very good. They held together great. The mushroom was great, as you can see. Um, I really like these. The box. Let me make sure I'm right on this. So the box is showing cow, deer, hogs, and even a buffalo. Um, I don't know about the buffalo, but I wouldn't be afraid to take any of those or even a black bear with this bullet myself. I wouldn't have a problem busting a cap on a pretty good sized black bear with that. 36 inches of penetration is pretty crazy, having shot through 11 and a half inches of jugs of water, 3/4 inch of wood, and a reinforced plastic lid as well. Um, I think that the bullet was pretty awesome. I really like that one. But to try and speed this up just a little bit, last bullet is the Barnes, and this is the Vortex VORTX. It was 2250 feet per second, so about 50 feet per second faster than the other two bullets, and 70 foot faster than the Remington. Um, as you can see, this bullet was crazy as the depth of penetration. I asked some of you all in a question, how deep do you think this bullet penetrated? So the overall length of my catcher, my trap, is 47 and a half inches. If it goes past 47 and a half inches, I've got a hole on the other end. Um, I couldn't tell because I got a support brace in the back because of trying to form that metal around. It was somewhere behind that, so the bullet was between 46 and 47 and a half inches deep. If you watch the whole other video I put in the clip where you could see the camera got blown around, you couldn't see the jugs exploding. But I had to take the back of the trap loose, take the end of it off in order to catch that bullet. But it was pretty easy to spot when it hit the ground when the water washed it out. Full copper or copper monolithic, hollow point. You probably can't tell it, but that bullet is a beast. 99.76% weight retention. So when I tell you that the caught weight was 249.4 grams, you automatically know that was a 250 grain bullet. Uh, Depth of penetration was crazy. The bullet, I mean, you can see it for yourself. It's pretty awesome. Um, Anyways, I hope you got something out of this. I enjoy these tests. I love seeing what these bullets are doing. When I think of shooting an animal, I want the best bullet to do it with. I want the most ethical shot. And when I make that shot, I want to know what that bullet is going to do when I pull the trigger on that animal. So this testing is something I've given a lot of thought about. If you can think of anything that would make it better, please tell me. If you can think of a gun that you'd like to see tested like this, let me know. I do have more on the way. Just a little as a time. I just got to buy the bullets and stuff. I know a lot of you guys want me to buy better scopes and stuff like that. I work for a living. I gotta do what I can to try to get you guys videos. I'm buying guns and lesser optics, but the guns and the ammo is expensive. And luckily, I had a lot of these guns already. But thank you guys for checking us out, for being with us, supporting us, loving our stuff. We really appreciate it. Uh, I'm going to keep going to work and seeing if my sponsor will keep paying me 40 hours a week. All right. Hey, y'all have a blessed day. Remember to love God, love guns, love your country, and love your family. All right. Take care.